right, FightHype.com. Always a privilege to be joined with Miss Mikaela Mayer. Now technically the former unified queen of 130, the former unified super featherweight champion. Getting her before she has to get to work to commentary tonight. But Mikaela, obviously that was one of the great technical chess matches you had with Baumgardner. You felt you won that night. Have you had a chance to go back and watch the fight on tape now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a minute because I was upset and I didn't want to watch it with angry eyes, right? I wanted to really make an honest evaluation, and I still believe I won that fight. 7-3, 6-4, the worst. And I believe that the public, 90% of the public, believes I won that fight as well. So it hurt, I'm not gonna lie. I've been going through it the last couple of weeks, but I've pulled myself together, and I think now I just want to continue on my journey of making big fights. And I don't think that Alycia Baumgardner is the only big fight for me. There's a ton of big fights for me. So that's my goal. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Is the other big fight, Katie Taylor, are you willing to go to 35 and make that fight happen, even go to Ireland if necessary?
Oh yeah, I've been very open and transparent about that. I obviously wanted to fight with Katie Taylor. I believe I'm next in line for that. I feel like I deserve that fight. But I don't want to lose my position at 130 at the same time, because I do believe I deserve a rematch. And not just for me, but I think if Baumgardner was a true champion, she wouldn't want to leave it in suspense. And I think there's a lot of doubters. So if she really wants to make that sound and make her the real champion, then she should rematch me. And the fans want it. It's about the fans, right? The fans wanted the fight. That's why I ended up pushing for this fight in the first place, because I believe this is the era of women's boxing that can change the narrative, and that we can make the big fights the fans want to see. So I think she should live up to that and rematch me. And yeah, I don't think that she would come out on top, because I'm gonna be coming in there with a chip on my shoulder, but I think the fans want to see it.
Is part of you though like, all right, I get it, you want to become undisputed with Choi first, go ahead and handle that. Would you have done the same if you had won, like, let me get this Choi fight first and then we'll do a rematch? Or
she can go ahead and try and get that Choi fight. But let's not mess around, you know. Let's get these fights done. Don't immediately after the fight sit on the microphone and say she's not getting a rematch. Nobody wants to hear that. You've already started your journey off as a world champion like shit. Like, people want to see a fight. People want to see you face the best, and that's what I've always wanted for this era and for my career. So if she wants to go and fight Choi first, that's totally fine. But let's not mess around, because I'm not going to sit around and wait at 130. There's so many options for me. I feel like one thing that I'm proud of is that I've built a foundation. Like, my career I'm not reliant on one fight, on one opponent. Like, I've built such a foundation in my career where there's places I can go even with a loss. So I have to walk the walk now. Like, I've always said that an O shouldn't define your career. Like, you should be willing to put your ass on the line and fight the best, and people should stop being afraid of losing their O. So now I gotta walk the walk. I lost my O, and that's okay, but that doesn't change the goal. That doesn't change like what I want for my legacy, and that is to make the biggest fights possible. So my next fight, there's no filler fights. There's no let me just maintain fights. There's none of that. We're only going for the big fights. And so whether that's Baumgardner or not, then we're gonna make those fights happen. She'll see that where else can she go? Where else can she go?
She might want the Taylor fight too, right? You know,
she might want the Taylor fight too, but no one believes in that fight right now. Like, she has to deserve that fight with Taylor. Like, right now, she would not be on the winning end of that fight. Like, no one believes she's gonna beat Katie Taylor. After round 3, she completely died against me. She didn't do anything in the fight. And you think someone like Katie Taylor, with one of the highest punch counts and speed in women's boxing, that she's gonna take it to her? She doesn't do anything. She's not the dog that she says she is. She doesn't deserve that fight with Katie Taylor. She has a lot to prove before she goes up against someone like Katie. And her best bet is to come back and rematch me. And I know Eddie. Eddie's smart. He knows where the money is. The views for that fight, the hype for that fight were bigger than any women's boxing fight. I mean, it was huge. And so the numbers are there. The viewership is there. People want to see that fight. And Eddie now has it in his corner, right? It's gonna be on Matchroom. It'll be on DAZN because she's the champ. So I think he'll push her. If this fight happens, it won't be because Alycia asked for it, because Eddie said, you're going to take this fight and we're going to make some money.
So, but you'd go over to the zone and...
I have no choice.
Right.
I have no choice. I'm not an idiot. You know, she was going off about how she's the A side when I was like, I get how this works. She is now the A side going into this rematch because she has the belts. So yeah, I'll do what I got to do.
What, you know, I know you said most people felt 90% felt you won the fight, but then there was, you know, the fans that felt she didn't win, and they were critical of you getting out of the ring right after the fight and not doing it. What do you have to say in response to that?
I've never lost in my professional career. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. For all I know, in my past fights when I won, the winner gets the mic. I didn't even know anyone was going to want to interview with me. Not only that, but I was pissed. I didn't believe that decision was correct, and that was my way of protesting the fight. Mm-hmm. That was my way. Like, in hindsight, I kind of wish I would have stood in there and got my chance on the mic to say how I felt, but I didn't even think I was going to get a chance on the mic. Like I said, I've never been in that position before, and so I just dealt with it how I knew how, and that was saying F this. That was a shit decision, and I'm out of here.
And I know, again, you feel you won the fight, but what would you feel, having watched the tape, that you would do differently or better, that you have to do differently or better the second time?
Pressure her more, and you know, it was part of the game plan to make her miss, take that first step back, and that's one of the reasons why I lost the first couple rounds. That was literally part of the game plan. Was we know she comes out strong, and she does have power. I did feel her power, but we knew that she would die because she always does, and she did. And so the game plan was to take that step back every time she stepped in for those first couple of rounds, and don't catch the brunt of her power in the beginning of the fight. And so we did that, followed the game plan, and then I started boxing her. Then she started backing up. Then she had nothing left for me. So I think if I were to go back now, I would just take it to her even more.
From round one.
I know she doesn't have the conditioning. Like, she proved it right then and there. She doesn't have the conditioning, and she's not all that she says she is. She's not the dog that she says she is. If she can't land that right hand, just like I said, she has nothing else. And I blocked that right hand with my jab. It might have looked like she was whacking that right hand because she was throwing it, but my jab blocked that right hand the entire fight. Right up like this.
We got to slow-mo it?
Slow-mo it. Ask the girls in the slow-mo tent, because they were trying to find...
Because like you said, real time sometimes it looks like she's getting her head off.
Watch the slow-mo. The girls in the slow-mo tent were trying to find a replay for her because she had won the fight. And like, we can't find it. She didn't land the punches. They were not clean in slow motion. So go back and watch the fight. But you know what? What am I going to do? Mm-hmm. I can't dwell on it anymore. I just have to keep pushing forward and keep doing what I said I was going to do. And... it's hard. Honestly, I will be honest. I thought that I always said, like, if I lose a fight, it's going to be extremely hard for me to come back into camp with motivation. Like, how do you do that? And I was thinking all these girls that have caught losses recently, and I'm like, man, I admire that. They just came back and they retaliated, but that would be so hard mentally. It's easy to train when you're on top, but when you're not on top, it's hard. But it was the complete opposite. Like, after that fight, I called my team and I was like, I want a hard, like, do not give me anyone easy. I said, we want to go right back into camp. I want to fight ASAP, and it needs to be against a top contender. Like, that was the only thing that was going to fuel me. Mm-hmm. And that just shows where I am in my career. Like, I need to be motivated for a fight. And so I'm only going to give the fans big, exciting fights. That's it. I can promise you that.
And you said in the beginning of the interview, it was hard, to be honest. You know, first time taking a loss in, you know, probably many years, amateur or pro. And what was that like, and to get through that? I know you got Marquette here holding you down, you know, but
no, he was really supportive, because I think when people first started asking me about it, it was hard to say, you know, I lost my belts. And I'm not the type to go off on the tangent about how I was robbed. Like, that's just not my style. But I was like, oh, I lost my belts, and it was kind of like negative. And he pulled me aside and he was like, stop. You need to stop talking about yourself like that. He's like, you won that fight. You know you're still the best. He's like, you need to go around and you're still that bitch. So act like that, because the words you speak now are going to manifest your next move. They're going to help manifest the future. And I'm like, you're right. I've always believed that. And it's like so cool that he said that, because like the next group of people that came up to me was a mom and like 4 kids. And they all knew who I was, and I had to be, instead of being negative, I was like, no, I lost the belts, but don't worry, we're going to get them back. We have a plan. It's all good. And they were like, yeah, because they were all athletes as well. So it was just such like a perfect timing, and it really just hit me that it really is more about me right now and my comeback, and how I come back from all this is not for me, but it's for like the next generation, everyone that looks up to me. And so that helped to sort of kick me out of my little
Yeah, you're holding your head up high here and getting ready to work the fights. But I anything you want to say to Alycia? Because I do imagine she's going to watch this and roll her eyes and disagree with basically everything you're saying. Any message to
Hey, if she
Baumgardner?
disagrees with me, then take the
Right.
rematch. Take the rematch, because there's a lot of people that are agreeing with what I say. Go look at all the comments on social media. The Zone just posted a video of her saying her next plans and everything, and everyone's like, rematch Mayor, you lost the fight. So if she really, if that were me, all I know, if that were me, I'd want to solidify that I was the true champion and that I was the best, and I would gladly take the rematch. So we'll see.
Because that's what makes boxing, is rematches and trilogies and rivalries. And
She'll see
because I think
soon.
people love the organic bad blood you guys have.
It's great, and it doesn't come around
it's-
often. Like, she'll
Right.
see when she starts getting into the groove of things, that a trilogy like this or a rivalry like this only comes around once in a while. And she would be stupid not to capitalize. We already know she's not that smart, but she would be stupid to not capitalize on a rematch or even a trilogy. So, no, I mean, who else do you want to see Baumgardner fight? Who else? Ask the fans. Ask the people.
I'll be honest. Her and Taylor is a good fight because she's a.
But you know she wouldn't
like
win.
Huh?
You know she wouldn't
Taylor
win that
would?
fight. No, Baumgardner wouldn't win that fight.
Against Taylor?
Yeah.
You think Baumgardner beats Katie Taylor?
No.
Okay.
Baumgardner wouldn't win.
Right,
against
wouldn't
Taylor.
win that fight.
Taylor would win
I
that
don't-
fight.
I don't counter out Mikaela. I
But
don't.
then who else? Let's say she does get the Taylor fight. Who else? Who else do you want to see her fight? The fans want to see
Finish
it.
off the Choi thing, you know. I get it. I'm just I'm being objective here.
Even
right?
Choi.
I know you'd want to finish off Choi before the rematch.
is not an exciting fight. Like, even for me. Like,
'Cause we don't.
Choi's just an annoying boxer holding up this whole division. Nobody likes her. No one really wants to see a fight against her.
We all know
but-
you two are far and away the top at 130. We know that. Right?
Yeah,
But
I think the fans want to see it, and so if she wants to take some time to like do what she got to do and try and get that Choi fight, I understand, but don't take too long, or she's gonna miss out.
And just lastly, before I let you go, your former Olympic teammate, Errol Spence. Well, he was 2012, you were 2016, but still, Team USA.
I was there in 2012 though with them.
There you go. Right. It's a way to correct me too. But Thurman. Can Thurman, is that still a 50-50 type fight like it would have been some years ago, or is Spence too much for Thurman these days?
No, I've always been a huge fan of Spence. I really want him to fight Crawford, but I guess Thurman's the next best fight for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, my money's
Well, actually,
on.
Boots is, but we'll take.
Well, you're right. You're right. I'm actually not even really interested in seeing him fight Thurman, but I do have him winning easily. Yeah.
Okay. And I imagine I can see why you like Errol, because you guys both some similarities in style, right? The fundamentals.
I really just like the way he stays behind the jab and digs to the body. And even people say, like, he's a boxer, but even though he likes to close that gap and fight on the inside and dig to the body, he's a boxer because he does it all behind his jab. And so that's obviously something that Coach Al is always training me to do, and I admire that in him.
Right, you guys both do it, but you guys know how to keep it long behind it. So
Exactly. So we'll see.
But Mikaela, thank you so much. Have a great time commentating tonight, and yes, we do want to see that rematch. So thank you, Mikaela.
Thank you.